Hello everyone, welcome to Mary Rose Sweden. That's my TikTok name. Mary Rose Sweden chapter, that's my YouTube name. Yes, those of you who are passing by for the first time, please, I would ask you to share, like, and even consider subscribing. That way you push me forward. Thank you for that, dears. Yes, listen, today I want to talk about my friend, a friend of mine I've known so many years. Yes, dears. She told me something which touched me, and I thought I have to share it with you. And of course, I want to share with you always. Yeah, why not? Because it's educative, informative, and maybe you can try it. Why not? Let's see what she says. Yes, she told. Whenever I talk about health, struggles, we talk about keeping healthy, exercising, dietary, and lifestyle changes. Yes. Yeah, because we are in the same age gap. Yes. So listen to what happened to her. Listen, dear. So dears, this friend of mine lowered her cholesterol, yes, naturally. Yes, and it took me back to Uganda. Yes, dears. Listen, the title goes for this video. She lowered her cholesterol naturally. And it took me back to Uganda. That's the title. Yes, so my friend told me something recently, and that really made me stop and think. Yes, she said she lowered her cholesterol naturally. And of course, you know what she used? Yeah, only peas. Peas, dears. Simple peas. Yes, and of course it works. Yes, dear. Suddenly, I was no longer in Sweden. Why? I just thought about Uganda because they are simple foods, regions, full of proteins. We eat a lot of peas, beans, nuts, like we call them peanuts in the US. I think we call them peanuts, but this time it is just peas. So, dears, let's go on. Of course, dears, those of you who are coming back, thank you for coming back to my channel. Yeah, and if you're new here, my name is Mary Rose. That's my TikTok name and YouTube name, but otherwise Mary C, Uganda, living in Sweden. I share real life, stories about moving from Uganda to Sweden, culture, the lessons life teaches, us, along the way. Yes. And today, of course, this is not a medical video. Disclaimer. Yes, this is just a story. A real story, dears, that might help someone out there. Yeah? Remember that. So, dears, let's define cholesterol. Cholesterol is a type of fat, in your blood vessels that, your body needs in order to work properly. Yes, dears. But when you have too much of that bad cholesterol, it can build up, your blood vessels, making them narrow or even blocked. Yes, that increases risk for heart attack, serious problems, or even stroke. Yes, so that's why it's super important to keep it under control. In short, cholesterol is silent but dangerous. Okay, too much of it can clog your blood vessels, of course lead to heart attacks and stroke, without any warning. So bear that in mind. Dears, let me talk a little bit about my background. Where I come from in Uganda, we grew up eating a lot of natural foods. Okay, beans, peas, lentils, things like chickpeas. We don't think about that. We just eat the food we eat. It's the food, dairy food we eat. Very cheap, very easy. Yes, we just eat food. Yes, we don't think about cholesterol. Or even we didn't think about diet. Sometimes we just eat. But of course, some of those, people are being informed these days, and they know they're eating, proteins. Yes, but normally people don't know. Some people, like in the village, they don't know that. They just, eat the still natural food. Yes, and sometimes they just eat what is available, what was, affordable at the time, and then what is filling. Yes, that fills your stomach, so you don't get hungry. And looking back now, I realized something. Yes, a lot of those foods, or these foods, because they're still there, are actually very healthy. Hmm? Let's talk about the part when I came to Sweden. Yes, this was a change of diet, of course. Yes, when I moved to Sweden, everything changed. Yes, new culture, new lifestyle, and new food, of course. And slowly, without realizing it, you start eating differently. More processed food, more convenience, less of the simple traditional meals. Hmm? And it's not anyone's fault, of course. I'm not blaming anyone, but it's just life. It's just life. But sometimes we lose something important along the way without knowing it. Yes. So here comes my friend's story. So when she told me about her cholesterol, I really listened. And she had been struggling, worried about her health like, many other people are, and she decided to try something different before going straight to she had, of course, started doing, medication. She, the doctor, prescribed some medicines. But, she also did this, she wanted to do this first, the cholesterol, the peas, started eating peas, eating more legumes, especially, of course, dried peas. Yes. Simple meals and nothing fancy. Peas, so it can be soup, stews, home-cooked food, of course. And the most important thing, she was consistent. Yes. Yeah, that's super important. Being consistent. Yes. After some time, I think like 16 months or plus, she went back, for her checkup. And guess what? Her cholesterol had improved significantly. Yes. That's so nice, super important, and very interesting for us. Yeah, for me, at least. Yes. I mean, that's when it hit me. And what she was doing was not new. No, it was actually very familiar to me. And it reminded me of home, it reminded me of Uganda, where we eat these, foods, literally without thinking twice. We just eat. Sometimes we travel far, only to rediscover what we already, had. Because this friend, what I forgot to mention, this friend also lives, in first world, she lives in the first world. Yeah. She lives in Europe. Yes. So friends, I'm not saying that peas are a miracle. No, I'm not, not saying it will work for everyone. No, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is this. Sometimes the simplest, changes, the most traditional foods can make a difference. You understand that? Just simple changes. Yes, I must say this. It's a disclaimer. I want to be totally clear here. I'm not a doctor, and this is not medical information. This not medical advice. Yes, I'm simply sharing my friend's personal experience in case it helps or inspires someone. Okay? Yes. Please always speak to your doctor, health professional about your health. Yes, they know better. They will tell you more, or maybe you need some checkup and all that. So don't forget that. Yes. So dears, here we come to the end. Yes, if you grew up eating foods like peas, beans, or lentils together, I would love to hear from you. Do you still eat them today? Or did life change, your habits, like it did for me? Yes. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Drop your comment in the comment section. And if this story touched you in any way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and even share it with someone it might who might need it. Don't forget that. So dears, Bye for now. Stay tuned for more stories. Bye. Dears, all I can say about this experience, sometimes the answers we are searching for are already part of our story. How about that? Yes? Yeah. Tell me. Otherwise, bye for now.